So hey guys, so today we're going to take a look at another programming problem from LeetCode, which is to find the intersection point of two linked lists, right? So if you take a look at the question that we're given here, we are provided with two linked lists. So we are provided head A and head B, and we're supposed to find if there's any intersection point between these two linked lists, right? So that's kind of the problem statement, and there's two ways to solve this problem. So one way is to find the length of both these linked lists. So we'll go from A1, A2, C1, C2, C3, and then we'll go from B1, B3. We'll try to find the length of both linked list A and linked list B, and then we would iterate the longer. We'll try to figure out the difference between those two linked lists, and then we'll iterate the longer one till the difference point, and then at this stage, both these pointers will be at the same position, and when we try to iterate both at the same time, we will be arriving at the intersection point. So that's kind of the one way to solve this problem. Another way to solve this problem, instead of doing two iterations to figure out the length and then do another iteration to figure out the intersection point, another way would be to have two pointers at both like A1 and B1, and so we'll start iterating A1 and B1, right? We'll start iterating A pointer and B pointer, and then we'll iterate through each node. And when we arrive at the end, say for example, here we have A and here we have B, right? So A will obviously be completing first before B, right? So when A reaches null, what we do is we point A to the head of B. We'll point A back to the head of B, and then when the B pointer reaches the end, the last node, we'll point B again to the top head of A. So in this way, when we reset the pointers, right? So when we reset A to point to B1, and so this is how it goes, right? We will A pointer will be at A1, A2, C1, C2, C3, and then B will go along the same way. And at a certain point, A will be a bit before than B. So for example, here A will be here at a certain point, and B will be here. And during the next iteration, A will come to the next node, which is null, and B will be at the last node. So when A reaches null, we would move A all the way over to B1, and we will do another iteration where the B pointer that we previously had, we have moved to null, and at this point, since B is null, we'll move it all the way to A, and both will arrive at the same location here when we do the next iteration. So that's kind of another way to solve this problem, and then it's just a matter of iterating, and then at a certain point, you'll find the intersection point. So to solve this problem, we're going to use the second approach. So we're going to set two pointers here. So I'm going to call it pointer. It's not exactly a pointer, but like a reference node perhaps. So pointer A, head A, and then list node pointer B, head B, right? So these are kind of the two pointers that we need to have. And before we even like create these pointers, I just want to check a base condition. We want to check if head of A, if either head of A or head of B is equal to null. There's no point in going any further. We can just return null because there's no intersection point for like an empty list. So once we have like two pointers, we need to do our iteration. We just need to do one iteration. We need to check inside this iteration. We need to check if pointer A is equal to B. If it's at the intersection point, we will break out of this while loop, and we need to check for two conditions, right? So if pointer A is equal to null, then what we need to do is that we need to set pointer A to be equal to head B, because we're resetting the pointer to head B. And the other condition is that we need to, if it's not null, we need to keep iterating through pointer A. So I'm just gonna do pointer A, wait, pointer A dot next. So it's almost similar steps that we need to do for pointer B. So in this case, we need to check for pointer B is equal to null, and then pointer B is equal to head A, and then pointer B is equal to pointer B dot next. So once we do all these iterations and once we arrive at the intersection point, the loop will break and we just need to return any one of those pointers, right? Doesn't matter. In this case, I'm just gonna return pointer A and I'm gonna run it. So hopefully, it passes the test cases. So, okay, we are getting an problem here. So let me try to figure that out. All right. I just realized that I made a stupid mistake. I'm not supposed to check for equal to pointer A equal to 0, then it will break even at like the first point because there's no sense because they're like completely different. So it would break. So I'm supposed to have not equal to. That's like a silly mistake. Let's try to see if it runs now. So it did pass all the test cases. I'm sorry about the stupidest mistake ever, but we're supposed to check if they're not equal. So that's kind of the way of solving this problem. You just have two pointers, and then you iterate each A and B pointer, and then when you arrive at the null, you point it to the opposite side so that you get a so that by the time that both these pointers are getting resetted, and then there are the initial like the first few nodes, you start at the same location and then you start iterating, right? So that's kind of the point of the solution. So that's pretty much it, guys. So see you again tomorrow with another problem.